Person. So for me, what has been catching my attention is the innovation taking place from tapping into innovative ingredients to consumer trends to demand. So you just highlighted the increasing demand for plant-based alternative and hybrid. For formulas to tackle that sustainability consideration, but also the advancement to isolate proteins and replicate breast milk composition within a lab as well. So earlier this year, during Vital Foods Europe and its Future of Nutrition Summit, we heard from Laura Katz, who's the founder and CEO of Helena, which is a biotech startup that uses precision fermentation to make glycoproteins that's unique to breast milk proteins that supports baby's immune system for life. And what's interesting is that they're looking at ingredients to target all consumers, so not just infants and babies. But then there is also BioMilk startup, which is focusing on replicating the process of making human milk outside of the human body. So it is interesting to see this shift of technological advancements continue to push the boundaries in the industry. And something else worth mentioning is the consumer being more acceptive of preventive care. They understanding the importance of nutrition in the early stages of life. And for example, UNICEF, they highlight that optimal feeding practices, they are fundamental to a child's survival, growth, and development, and yet too few children benefit. So that's the white space that the industry can tap in. It is pivotal that the industry can continue to innovate, optimize the health and nutrition of infants and children. And speaking of industry innovation, Kirsten, can you share a little bit more on products developments that you're finding to be quite innovative and what you're seeing in that side of the industry?
Sure, of course. So baby food leads the way when it comes to bone health claims. Intel statistics show that in the 5 years ending April 2023, 11% of global baby food launches featured a bone health claim. And looking at patents in the area, there's quite a bit of crossover with probiotics, which is said to increase the absorption of vitamins and minerals so as to improve bone density. So a couple of examples from China. Chengdu Bridge Natural Biotechnology Company has a pending patent for a bone health improving probiotic milk. And Weikang Probiotics Company has a granted patent for a probiotic composition which is said to promote calcium absorption via the intestinal cells. And without giving too much away about the reports, which I know covered this, another area where some brands have seen an opportunity is in preventing food allergies in children through targeted dietary interventions, notably the early introduction of allergens. So one example that particularly stood out was from the US startup Lil Mixins. The latest product is a range of probiotics designed to tackle atopic eczema, which is a major cause of food allergies before birth. So it comes in a dual format. There's probiotic capsules to be taken by the mother during pregnancy and after birth while nursing, as well as probiotic drops for the breastfed baby. So you can see there's quite a lot of experimentation and problem solving going on in this area, which will be interesting to see how it develops.
Definitely. Thanks so much for sharing, Carson. It's definitely interesting to see the experimentation aspect of it as well, bringing breast milk outside of the lab, isolating proteins from breast milk in the lab, and all this innovative product development that you just covered. So as we can see, plenty of innovation is taking place and pushing the boundaries on product development on this industry. And as a note to the audience, you can download the free Vital Foods Insights report on this topic and additional resources available in our webinar console. So the speakers' slides will be available to download. And just going back to our report before we tap into the webinar, our report is a really great place to start to delve more into a topic of interest. So if you're thinking of launching a new product, if you're looking at growth opportunities, or just simply interested in how this category is evolving and its market trends, definitely check it out. I will let Kirsten share a little bit more of what to expect from this report.
So the report explores the latest ingredient innovations that are improving infant formula and driving product development in emerging growth areas, including sleep health, takes a deep dive into some of the topics we've just covered just now, including the role of synthetic biology, the growing trend for plant-based formulations, and the use of nutrition to prevent food allergies, as well as taking a look at how manufacturers have been adapting in the face of supply chain disruptions. And just a reminder that all attendees of our 2023 webinars will get a free category-specific market report to download, so be sure to sign up for the series. And for regular digestible updates, please do subscribe to our Ingredients Network newsletter, as well as the VitaFoods Insights Roundup. Natalia, can you tell us a little bit about the speakers who are going to be presenting this morning?
Yes, of course. So on today's webinar, we have Smriti Sharma, who's Program Manager Frost & Sullivan, and also Regina Karim, who's Global Senior Manager Science at the H&H Group. So first we'll hear from Smriti on specialty ingredients fueling growth in the infant nutrition space. Then we'll hear from Regina on human milk oligosaccharides, HMOs, for infants' health and microbiome development. Following Smriti's and Regina's expert insights, we'll discuss this industry category more in depth into interactive Q&A with our audience. So just as a reminder to the audience, if you have any questions at all during the presentations, please do type them into the Q&A box of the platform. Please also note that we'll send a short survey after this webinar and would very much appreciate your feedback. Enjoy.
Good afternoon, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Before I start on today's topic, let me give a brief introduction to myself and my company. Frost & Sullivan is a global growth advisory firm specializing in several different industry sectors. We have Nutrition and Wellness Division, and I, Smriti Sharma, is the Program Manager of our syndicated research side of the business. I've been working in the nutrition space for over now 10 years, and have worked very closely with a number of ingredient suppliers and FMCG players. Which brings me to today's topic on growth opportunity for specialty ingredients in the infant formula market. Before discussing any key trends, let me give a brief understanding of how we are defining these ingredients that are being used in the infant formula and what are the different stages and types of infant formula products. Now, due to regulatory and marketing purposes, infant formula has been segmented into different stages to cater to different age groups. For instance, stage 1, or also called as standard infant formula, is targeted for infants below 6 months of age. It is a more stringently regulated category of infant formulas, and there's an even international code prohibiting the marketing of these products and other breast milk substitutes. The other stage is stage 2, which is also called as follow-up formula or follow-on formula. These are intended for infants below between 6 months to 1 year of age. These are relatively less stringently regulated and with little restriction in terms of marketing. Growing up milk or toddler milk are labeled as stage 3 and intended for toddlers between 1 to 3 years of age, whereas growing up milk labeled as stage 4 on this industry, and there was a slowdown in certain in the demand of certain ingredients. But yeah, we expected the recovery, and the industry kind of recovered between in 2021 and 2022. Now, in terms of type of ingredients, proteins, carbohydrates, and fats and oils are the key ingredients, which are estimated to account for bulk of the volume demand and even revenue share. The market for these 3 ingredient categories is expected to be in growth to late growth stage, whereas ingredients such as probiotics and prebiotics, which though have a small share, hold a very high growth opportunity, considering there is a growing demand for immune and gut health boosting ingredients. Geographically, APAC held the largest share, with bulk of the volume demand driven by largest infant formula manufacturing countries such as China, New Zealand, Australia. Now, being base of all the top infant formula manufacturers, Europe, on the other hand, held the second largest share in the infant formula ingredients market. The APAC is expected to witness highest growth over the forecast period, and so the demand is coming. More demand is coming from that region. Now, moving on to the key trends in this industry. Now, I would like to highlight that infant nutrition industry is seeing trends similar to the ones gaining traction in the adult nutrition space. For instance, from demand for non-GMO, organic, plant-based infant formulas to highly specialized formulas with specific health claims are gaining traction. There is a strong and growing appetite for organic and clean label ingredients in the infant formula market, especially in developed countries, as demand for organic, all-natural baby food products is expanding. Not only in Western markets, but even in regions like Asia Pacific, Latin America, Middle East, and Africa, organic or all-natural foods have been cited as one of the most important baby food purchasing criteria. Now, ingredients supporting specific health claims is another key trend. And for those reasons, ingredients like probiotics, prebiotics, omega fatty acids, HMO are expected to gain higher traction as parents are looking for products that offer gut health, support immune and cognitive health benefits. Also, as awareness of health benefits of breast milk is expanding, formula manufacturers are focusing on nutritional science to mimic breast milk composition. There is a continuous effort to adapt and incorporate novel ingredients that are being identified as crucial in preventing diseases and building immunity in the newborn. Also, there is a growing demand for specialized infant formulas that is expected to augment new ingredient innovation. For instance, in the US, the incidence of cow milk protein allergy is the most common milk protein allergies. Now, thus, the demand for hypoallergenic formulas based on hydrolyzed proteins or free amino acids has been expanding, driving ingredient innovation. Also, as the rate of preterm births expand globally, the demand for specialty formulas catering to the needs of these premature infants is also expected to expand. Now, moving forward, as I just discussed, changing consumer requirements is pushing product formulators and in turn ingredient manufacturers to innovate and offer more functional ingredients. Now, this slide here indicates the ingredients that are under spotlight and is driving majority of innovation in the infant formula space. For instance, HMO is one key ingredient which has been gaining a lot of traction, right? As it has been shown to aid in the development and maintenance of healthy gut microbiome and even immune system. Now, there are different types of HMOs, but 2-FL HMO has been established as a potential agent for improving digestive health across various age groups due to its prebiotic function and ability to inhibit pathogen addition and to modulate immune functions. Now, what has helped the HMO ingredient is the expansion in the industrial scale production in the last few years, which has led formulators to incorporate this particular ingredient in the infant formulas. Also, companies are focusing on mimicking the exact lipid composition of breast milk. Like I said, there's a lot of innovation as there is a need to mimic this breast milk composition. And therefore, companies like Danone has developed an ingredient called Nutris. It's a large phospholipid-coated droplet that closely mimics the lipid structure in human milk. Also, another company called Advanced Lipids developed an ingredient called SN2-palmitate, also called as OPO, which resembles the unique oleic and palmitic fatty acid structure of human breast milk to enable better fat and calcium absorption. There's also a lot of clinical trials happening to support the nutritional claim of these ingredients, for instance, for OPO. Another ingredient that is being developed by the companies is milk fat globule membrane. This is also another ingredient found in the breast milk, and the companies are focusing on development of these ingredients. Omega fatty acids is one of the most important specialty ingredients used in infant formula as they play a vital role in cognitive and vision development in infants. Now, supplementation of formulas with DHA and ARA is recommended by almost all regulatory authorities, including US FDA, WHO, EFSA. But lately, there have been some changes in the regulatory requirements for these ingredients, which have been impacting this industry in the last few years. Probiotics is another category which relatively remains limited in terms of its penetration. However, we expect the demand to gain traction as consumer awareness and brands with gut health benefits expand. Now, companies are developing novel strains with specific health benefits to create a level of product differentiation. And that's where we expect the innovation to happen. Now, moving to understand in terms of the competitive landscape, in general, the infant formula ingredient space is quite fragmented, of course, because of number of ingredients that goes into and number of players that are playing in this industry. There are a number of large players having a comprehensive portfolio of ingredients, as well as there are mid-sized, highly specialized players like Advanced Lipids that are active in the space. There is also a growing level of forward and backward integration. For instance, dairy players like Fritzland Campina offer both ingredients as well as finished infant formula products through its subsidiaries. The collaboration between the finished formulators and ingredient suppliers is expected to expand in near future, as companies are trying to develop solutions that cater best to the changing consumer requirements, and that is expected to fuel innovation in this industry, and even